everyone, it is Annette Green here. It is week 31 this week of 2025, and as you can see, I have my planner out here. Every week I do a craft or craft related video, and at the end of the month I do a planner page video. So that's what it's going to be today. Here is a flip through. We probably saw this last month, this little fold out here. And then July was our new month. So you may not have seen these unless you follow me on social media, or if you're part of my weekly Memory Keeping with Annette Facebook group. If not, ask to join and I will accept you. But I do a planner page every week in the whole year of 2025. So this is where we left off last time. And I usually list everything that I use in that Facebook group. So if you wanted to know things about the pages that you've seen me flip through here, you could probably find that information there in that private Facebook group. Okay, so since this week is already over and here we are, this is going to be 31 right here. And even though today's August the 2nd, it's technically the last week of the month over here. So I'm going to finish out July. Okay, and last week was one of those weeks where I can't really talk about what I did because I am designing samples with my next release coming out in late October for Elizabeth Craft Designs. So I can't show you any of that. I can't document that. I can talk about that, but I cannot show anything. So I might as well not make the page about that. So instead, I didn't really do anything else. I was working so much and having some fun with my husband, just, tooling around, that I thought, well, what am I going to document this week? Instead of just trying to scramble and do something special, I thought, well, you know what? Every single week of my life, I work out. So this page today is going to be about my weekly workout routine. All right, and so just so you can see what I've done here, this is just a regular piece of paper, and this is a laser print. So I did a really quick copy of the photos that I think that I want to use. And basically, I have this idea that my page is going to be sort of a documentation of my current workout plan. How many days a week, how many, what do I do each day of that week? How many reps I do, all that. So that's actually something very interesting to look back in over the years and see, have I made progress? Wow, I did a lot, or wow, that wasn't enough, that kind of thing. And that's what I think memory keeping is all about, especially weekly memory keeping, because it's just those little everyday things that you do that you're going to look back on and maybe appreciate. And the reason why I did it on a laser print before going to my inkjet printer and doing a glossy photo print out is I don't really know what size I want these yet, and I'm not sure if I want to use them all. I think I do, but you can see this is a lot for this one little page here. And I want to have a little bit of a listing of what I do. So these are going to have to get quite small. And it's easier for me to just have a quick printout. I know it uses ink, but it's the best way for me to efficiently look at all the photos I want to include on one page, see what's tall, see what's wide, etc. And then, it's just so much easier than flipping through my phone or my iPad over there. I'm shooting on my phone, so I'd have to look at my iPad, and it's just too much. So that's the way I'm going to do it this week. Okay, so where to begin, right? I look at these pictures and I'm wearing the same outfit. It was the same day in the gym. I never photograph myself in the gym, by the way. I wouldn't dare if anybody was in there. But I had, I already had the idea I was going to make a page. So it was a Friday morning. Nobody was in there. I just did it really quick. And it wasn't easy because I kept, trying to prop the phone up on stuff and it was falling, and it was a scene, man. It was just not good. But I'm looking at my outfit, bright pink and black shorts, bright pink tank top, black shorts, black sunglasses, a lot of pink and black. And although I'm tempted to do a lot of pink and black here, I'm actually thinking, see the sky back here? See the blue coming in the window? Sort of an aqua-ish blue. I think that's going to be my background because we're going to have plenty of pink and black going on here. And then because there are so many pretty much white areas in all the photos, I might do black mats and just keep it really simple. So with that being said, the second thing I have to figure out is how am I going to actually do my journaling, the list part of this? I'll start really basically by trying to figure out what dies I want to use. Definitely want to use my classic alphabet, which I will link everything below. That's what I'm using for my numbers. So 31 I will use, and maybe something else. I don't know yet. And then I was thinking, we don't have any kind of planner dies about working out. We have some about, emotions or feeling healthy or, food plans and things like that, but nothing about actually being strong and working out. So I'm going to have to make do with what I have. And right away, I see these hole reinforcements for my page. They look just like the dumbbells over here. Now I'm looking, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 6-sided hexagons, octagons? No, that's 8, hexagons. So to kind of mimic the dumbbell shape, I think I'm going to use these hexagon hole reinforcements. So I'm going to I'm going to show you. I'm going to stick it up there on my magnet. That's my ruler magnet on my Glassboard Studio glass mat, magnetic glass mat. Love that thing. So I can start placing dies that I think I want to use up there on that long magnet. So here's the 3 and the 1, which are easy to lose because they're kind of small. Stick them up there as well. I'll link to the Glassboard Studio, and I believe that you get 15% discount if you use my code. So if you need a glass mat, this is a nice big one. They have sizes. They have all these cute little colorful magnets. You can pick your colors. You can pick your styles. It's pretty great. Okay, and I'm going to use this paper for my background. It's not really aqua, but it's a nice blue that kind of matches those blue colors. This is the back side of this one from my Colorful Collective paper collection. So I think I'll use that to cover that very blank kind of off-white page. I had to locate that, lost it. By the way, those little hexagon reinforcements are from a really old planner set, Planner Essentials 5. Don't know if that's available anymore, but I am going to cut this to fit my page. I could use the page die from one of my dies, but I think I'm just going to measure it and cut it, and then I can repunch those holes. Okay, and yes, you can cut right on this glass mat. So I'm going to square up with the ruler that's on the mat best I can. Got some pencil lines there. And I put 2 magnets here just to keep it really solid and still. And I love that because, the glass mat is a little slick, so it's easy for it to slide around if you're not careful. So I'll cut that. And then we got to turn it to do the other cut. Okay, and while I'm adhering this down, I will just say, if you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. You could use tape runner for this, but I'm going to use my good old Yoo-Hoo glue stick just because it's a large surface and I don't want to mess around. And I know I can slide a little bit into place with this. I do hope that nobody takes this as a humble brag with this page today. It's just, it really is and has been a part of my life every week since I can remember. I have always worked out since high school and sports and all that stuff. And as now I'm 61 years old, it becomes even more important the more that I read about, the more that I watch videos regarding how very important it is for us older, more mature ladies to strengthen our bones, to add extra weight to our walks. You may have seen on my social media that I have a weighted vest, probably like everybody else right now. I've had mine a couple of months actually. Was inspired originally by listening to menopause doctor, Dr. Mary Claire Haber. If you don't follow her, she's pretty interesting. Gives you a lot of good info on what's going on with our bodies in menopause and perimenopause for some of you. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of a trim, let that glue dry, and then I'll punch through those holes with my Crop-A-Dile. If you don't have a Crop-A-Dile, you can use a basic office hole punch. It's probably a little closer to the actual size. And we're going to use those hole reinforcements anyway, so it'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to ink this edge back up and give this a second to really set and dry, and I'll be back. All right, I put my whole reinforcements on there in black, just black cardstock. And that looks pretty cute, but you know, I can't stop there. So I thought, well, wouldn't it be cute to introduce another whole reinforcement on there, like a smaller one, which I like to do sometimes. I like to double them up. So there's these little guys, and this is from the Reinforcement Variety Pack #1. All those different whole reinforcements. And so I was trying to see if I had any bright pink cardstock. I mean, that isn't quite as bright. That's certainly not as bright. So I think this first one is going to be great. So I'll just cut where I have this little scrap edge and die cut those. And I'm going to layer that right on top of those. I think that'll look cute. By the way, I'm kind of working backwards from how I normally do as far as building the page. But it doesn't really matter. You know, normally the whole reinforcements would be the last thing to go on here. But I guess it's a solid idea that I'm committed to, so I'm going to do it first. Again, doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. Now see, doesn't that look cute? It just, whoops. It just takes it up a notch to have another color instead of just black. So I'm going to get all those done and I'll be right back. Well, as I'm gluing these down, I might as well talk to you. I'm curious, do you work out? Do you have a regular routine? I know it gets harder for a lot of us as we get older, but it's just so much more important as we get older to move our bodies. So if you have a routine, I'd love to hear about it. If you have any great like videos that you do, or if you like, what is it? Peloton? Some of those online services. Love to hear about it. My workout is basically adapted from a free video from a channel on YouTube. Pop Sugar Fitness, have you ever heard of that? They have a slew of videos that are wonderful for all levels. You just browse through and pick what works for you. And I picked a little 10-minute weight workout, but what I've done is I've adapted it. And I do it 3 times. Instead of once, 10 minutes, I do 30 minutes. I'm in the gym about 40, 45 minutes. But I just kind of tailored it to my needs. Okay, so I hope you agree. I think that looks kind of cute. And it's going to go so well with the photos, right? So now I'm thinking, because I'm going to have all this verbiage about my workouts and how many reps and all that stuff, I think I'm going to do that part on the computer. So really, I can just fill this up with photos, leaving a certain area, and then within that area, go to the computer and fill that space and know this is all I have to work with. You know, it'll help me determine the font size, the style, does it have to be a condensed font, all those good things. You could certainly handwrite your journaling. I'm just going to make it a little easier on myself this time and do it on the computer. All right, I'm going to experiment with you here. This is 2075, the postage stamp page. I don't know that I've ever used this one, but it's a wonderful page. It's a page die that has all the little postage edge, like perforation dots there. And so it's already all figured out for you in this way, but I've already done the page part. I've got it down. I've got my whole reinforcements. So I don't want to use this and go over the top of it. But instead, maybe what I can do is use it as a layout and still be able to use some of these inner frame dies in such a way. I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of thinking it through right now with you. So I'm going to give that some thought and see if I can come up with something there. Okay, so just to test this out, I die cut it out of black, and it's still a little big. I'm having a thought. So I'm taking my scissors and I'm cutting right through the center. I don't know if you can tear it. I'm afraid I'm going to, tear it too much. I want it to have that postage edge look. So I'm just going to cut it so they're all nice and lined up and neat looking. You could tear it if you like that look. And then I thought, well, I don't know if I'm going to fill every one of these, rectangles and squares. So maybe I'll cut away a few and we'll see the blue through and, give it a little variation in that way. So let's get this last one cut and see how that looks just so far. It fits better, that's for sure. But you see what I'm saying? Like, let's say I know my main focal image, it'll go in that center one. That's me with my vest. So I know how to size it now. And then look at these other spaces. Definitely a couple of these horizontals and verticals I can use. And I don't need this many. So that's going to be great. I think this is going to work out pretty well. So the next step, what I will do is I'll just take a pencil because I'm going to cover up this stuff or I'm going to cut them away. And I'm going to start to write in here where I want things to go. And then I can decide first, like, oh, do I want it this way? I think I kind of like it this way better. I don't know why. Doesn't matter. It's my page, my choice. Okay, so like this one can be push-ups. Which I have to say, you guys, I've been trying to do a push-up for a long time. Used to do them many, many years ago, 20 years ago, and I was really working out intensely, but I've gotten away from it. I can't do any push-ups. I've been doing girly ones for a long, long time, and I finally found a guy who showed me online how to work your way up to actually doing a man push-up, and I did 2 of them the other day. I'm so proud of myself. So push-ups are going to go there, and maybe the sit-up crunch one with the dumbbell will go there because that's a long one. That's a long one. So I'm going to go through and do that and see how all that works out with the photos that I have. Okay, I think I have it figured out. And as I was labeling them, I was check marking them off over here. They each have a name. So I do have left this space here, and I did this on purpose. So I've got here, here, and here that have nothing, and then this big long one. So that tells me my 31 can fit into one of those boxes, and it probably will be this one up here, like sideways this time. And I could do the journaling that continues into these areas. Or I can spell out words like strong or keep moving or you've got this or something. But at least I have a basic plan, and I think this is coming out just the way I'm going to like. So now I will grab the actual dies that go into those spaces, and I can use those for my, oh, see here, I wanted to show you this. This one I'm going to extend. I had one photo where it needed to be a little bit wider. I didn't have enough to have a bunch of tall, skinny ones. So I'm going to kind of adapt to that one and make this into one photo that goes across both of those areas. So I'm going to have to custom cut that one because I don't think this die, no, that one goes here. It doesn't work in that spot down there. So I'm going to kind of continue through this. I believe you get the idea, and then this size will dictate either the size of my photos, or maybe these will be mats, or maybe they'll cut out. Oh, that could be something. I'm just thinking as I go here, I could cut through this particular die and we'll have a little blue mat, and then the photo can be a little smaller on top of that. What do you think of that? Okay, I decided to test the idea before I commit. And if I don't like it, I can always pop that back in, but I think I kind of like it. Now, the photo is going to have to get even smaller than this. That's the issue. But I think if I just do a quick test of, which one was that one? Push-ups, make it a little smaller than this and bring it in here and show you. We'll see if that's going to work out nicely. Okay, so just so you can see what I'm doing here, I decided to try 2 different ways and see how we like it. And so what I did is I cropped the push-up photo the same size as this piece, so it would pop right into that window. So we really didn't need to cut that out. And then I've cut one a little bit smaller so that we actually have a little bit of that blue inner part of the frame there showing. So I'm going to cut these out real quick. And I just, as you can see, I used a scrap piece of glossy photo cardstock in my inkjet printer this time because I know I'm going to use one of these. So I might as well do it. And since I'm testing, that's why I'm using a little scrap piece here. So you get to see exactly how this looks both ways with me. I got a feeling I'm going to like the smaller one, but that is really going to make some of those photos really small. But it might be okay. You never know. You can't judge until you actually get it in there and see it, right? So you gotta wait. And for those of you who haven't followed me for very long, I do still get questions about what printer do I use, what software do I use, and I use an older Canon Pixma TR8620 printer, inkjet printer, and I use HP paper in it. I don't even use Canon paper because it's so hard to find. And I use Photoshop Elements to do all my photo cropping and editing right here at home. Okay, so let's zoom in and take a look and let's decide what we want to do. So this one is the one that's bigger and would fit just right in there. So we didn't need to cut away the black, but just so we can see how that looks. You know, it's good. It's all right. Is it more interesting to do this though? Pretend this is glued down nice and flat, not all wavy like that. And this is floating in there. Do we like that? I don't know about you, but I like that better. So I hope you like it because that's what I'm going to do. All right, so now I got to go through with those dies and cut out all those little windows and then do the little chore of sizing all my photos and printing them out. Gosh, that looks pretty cool, I think, already. I do have this one little spot here. I got a little delicate with the area and I actually snipped that apart. And then we have these two little holes here, which I'll decide what to do about that later. I can always get in there with a black pen if it's real obvious, but I feel like this is pretty good and I can get this glued down now. So I'm going to go ahead with that. Okay, I've got my magnets on there. I know I'm off screen a little bit, but I wanted to show you as I was popping out the pieces so I didn't lose track of what I wanted to be where. I kept the little pieces that I wrote on in the same position over here on just like a piece of scrap. Whew, and I gotta say, these are the smallest I have ever made photos before. Okay, so I got my first one in there. We're going to get the rest of these in here. I've got my little cheat sheet over here, what goes where. I think it's pretty easy to figure out, but I'm just going to lay them in here to show you. And also for me to check that everything was cropped properly and looks good, doesn't need to be trimmed, and so far so good. Let's see, this goes here, I believe. Yeah. Oh gosh, this little skinny one. This is so funny. That's me doing my little sit-ups with my weight. That one actually could be a little deeper, but I think I'm going to leave it. We got our dumbbell curls there with our biceps. We got our flies, and then we've got our overhead squat press. Okay. Okay. Hey, look at that. It worked out. I know there's a glare, so sorry about that. Yeah, let's keep it over here. So now I just need to adhere those down and start making a plan for those other spaces. I can throw away these little leftover bits. All right, so I think I'm going to put in very small letters here, keep on moving over here in this block. And I'll do my workout plan over here. So what I've got is this great little alphabet die that has the whole alphabet and extra letters on it. And this comes from one of Esther's sets as well, 2175, the Pockets 2 set. Has a bunch of stuff on it. But I'm looking to see, do I have enough or do I have to run it through again to get all the letters I need for Keep On Moving? So I've cut it out of that same pink cardstock. And you see I've got the number 31 up there. I decided not to put it on its side, didn't need to be on its side. I think I have enough letters here to do this without having to cut it again, because the vowels, Esther was very smart in providing us with extra vowels, and that's usually what you need more of than anything else. And I'm not sure how I'll deal with moving being a long word there in that space, but I'll figure something out. Moving. Okay, and when it comes to working out, I was thinking about this as I was cropping all the photos and stuff, and I've said this to my friend Tiffany, who I talk with on the phone when I walk 3 days a week. You know, I don't want to live to be 110. That's not my goal. I just want to live long and strong and keep myself out of the nursing home as long as possible. I want to be as self-sufficient as long as possible. If I fall down, I want to be able to get up on my own. You know, and so that's why I do these things that I do now. I don't think I'm going to like breaking up the word moving here. But if you do a workout, I'd love to know, like, what is your motivation? What is your end goal? Are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to build strength? Or are you just trying to have a good, long, healthy life? Yeah, I don't like the way that looks, so I'm going to have to play around with that and see what we can do. Okay, well, I turned it on its side, and it fits really great. So that's what I'm going to do. So I just have them laying there right now, so I'll get those glued down. Okay, here we go. So I grabbed this kind of parchmenty, you know, resume paper. It's a little thick though. It's not like resume paper. It's like cardstock, a little bit. It's pretty thick. And I typed up my stuff. And I did it twice just because I had room and just in case I messed up cutting it. And I think it's going to fit pretty good here. Pretty well, I should say. And see, I need to sliver off just a little bit of that. It's a little bit close to hitting those dots. So I am going to slice that a little bit. Just give it a shave. I think that's all we need, is just a little bit. Let's see if that works. Okay. And I don't think I'll ink the edges. I think I'm going to leave it nice and clean. And that looks pretty good. So that would really be the end of the page for me this week. So let me get those on there. Okay, while I'm gluing this on here, I will say, of course, with this routine, I also try to eat pretty healthy. I'm definitely not so strict that I don't indulge. If you follow me on social media, you see some of the really yummy things I'm eating. It's probably not super healthy, but, you know, everything in moderation, you know? So I believe we are done. Let me grab my planner. Here we go. July is done. We'll be ready for August next time. So if you have any great recipes, healthy recipes that you love that's in your regular rotation, I would love to hear about them. Or if you have some wonderful workout routine that you love, I'd love to hear that as well. And perhaps by making yourself a page and making sort of a plan, it might motivate you to have a regular routine in your life if you're not doing so already. So I thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are making planner pages and having fun like I am. And I will see you next week in the next crafty video.